Hello, what's up? Just wanted to talk a little bit about something that's been sort of niggling at me. And when I make these videos talking about PlayStation or talking about Xbox or Nintendo, because they're all going to get a bit of flack, I assume, at some point off me, it's purely as a consumer point of view. It's not as this sort of fanboy as wanting one to fail and wanting one to succeed, because I just think iron sharpens iron, and sometimes these consoles are ahead, sometimes they're behind. You know, we've seen it fluctuate. You always find that the console that quote unquote wins the previous generation is the most arrogant going forward. You know, we've seen it with the PS1 and the PS3, sorry, the PS2 and the PS3. We've seen it from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One. We're kind of seeing it now with the PS4 and the PS5. So whoever's on top and whoever's quote-unquote winning doesn't really have to try as hard, and the person who's behind, the system that's behind, usually has to make more of an effort to generate a bit more good faith. So when I make these videos talking about, like, if I'm criticising something, it's not pointing the finger and saying I want this company to fail, I want Sony or Xbox or Nintendo to fail. I want them to be better. So this video is me talking about PlayStation Plus Premium, and I just want it to be better. I really want this to be good. I don't think Xbox needs to worry about Game Pass. I think I enjoy Game Pass. I'm not subscribed to any of these at the moment. I'm not subscribed to Game Pass. My Game Pass Ultimate subscription ran out. I had 2 years Game Pass Ultimate when I got my Xbox Series X. I'm only planning to subscribe to Xbox Game Pass when there's games on there that I want to play. I don't really see the point in subscribing to PlayStation Plus Premium or Xbox Game Pass all year round and just have money flying out my bank account constantly when I might not be using these services as much. So I like to kind of just have them pay monthly when I want to pay them. At the moment I'm playing a lot of Destiny and a lot of God of War, trying to get through that, you know, playing one game at a time. In my previous video I talked about New Year's resolutions and all that sort of stuff, playing one game at a time, getting through the back catalogue, sort of taking a step back from getting sucked into these Twitter, you know, the Twitterverse and everything that happens during a new game launch. We're seeing a lot of mudslinging going on with Forspoken, people criticising, and, you know, all the fanboy arguments are already started. The spoilers are starting to pop, so that's kind of what I want to step away from when there's a new game coming out. And this year for me is all about saving money. I really want to save money. I want to play smarter. I want to wait for game sales. If I can get a game, wait for a game, and it pops up on Game Pass, and I can play it for a cheaper, you know, pay it for the monthly subscription on there until the game's finished, and then cancel the subscription. That's fine. I would happily subscribe to Xbox Game Pass all year round. I would, and I would love to say the same about PlayStation Plus Premium. The only thing I would sort of maybe do is keep the lowest tier so I can play online. I can use it to play Call of Duty. I can still get my monthly games, but I really want PlayStation Premium to be amazing. I want it to be a celebration, really, of all these, you know, a celebration of just PlayStation and Sony has such a rich, vibrant catalogue, a historical catalogue of games that I've grown up with, you know. I would love it if Nintendo had a service where it was like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus Premium, where it was called, you know, Nintendo One Up or whatever, and you could go on there, you could pay monthly, and you had, you know, a back catalogue of, you know, they're sort of doing it already with the NES and Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64 catalogue, but they could do GameCube, you know, they could add things like that and just have this backwards compatible place where you can play all these great games from the history of gaming. And I think every system has an amazing back catalogue of games that should be preserved, and if we can play them through these services, you know, it just should be a celebration of video games. And that's where I want PlayStation Premium to be, because at the moment I just think it's so underwhelming. You know, the games that we've got on there at the moment are really sort of just total misses in my opinion. So we've got Star Wars Demolition, which has just been added. We've got Siphon Filter 1, 2 and 3, which were great games. Everybody's Golf 2, Ridge Racer 2, Oddworld's Abe's Exodus, Toy Story 3, Key of Heaven, Siphon Filter 2, Resident Evil, Pinball Heroes, No Heroes Allowed, Loco Roco, Echo Shift, Jak and Daxter, Jak and Daxter 2, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Dark Cloud, Dark Chronicle, Ape Escape, Jak X, Combat Racing, Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, Star Wars Racer Revenge, Pod Racing, Wild at Arms 3, Forbidden Siren, Rogue Gallery, Red Faction, Ark, Everybody's Tennis, Primal, Red Faction 2, War of the Monsters, The Mark of Cry, Rise of Kasai, Toy Story 2, Worms Armageddon, Worms Party, Odd Worlds, Abe's Odyssey, Crushy, Everybody's Golf, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Mr. Driller, Tekken 2, Ape Escape 1, Siphon Filter, and Wild Arms. And, you know, it's not a bad starting point, I suppose, but when you look at the PlayStation Classic, which is, I just have this just as total nostalgia. It's the exact box, you know, the box design. It's just nostalgia. To have it on there, I don't think I'm ever going to use this. It's just there as like a nice little keepsake to just have and be like, that was a great console. I've got the Mega Drive on there, the Mini Mega Drive, the Mini Super Nintendo, the Mini NES. You know, I'm going to collect all these little systems and just have them there because I just love the fact that gaming, how it started versus how it's going sort of thing. I realise that I do need to get into the habit of looking at the camera when I'm talking. But the games on here, you know, we've got Battle Arena, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy 7, the original Grand Theft Auto, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid 1, Mr. Driller, Rayman, Persona 1, Ridge Racer 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, Wild Arms. You know, there is games that I've already mentioned on here, like Siphon Filter, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. But there's all, that already is better than what we've already got. And I just think that it's such a wasted opportunity. And I don't know if it's because Sony, that, you know, I'm just a guy in a room talking on a camera. I don't know anything about the industry. I just know that I love playing video games. This could be down to licensing issues. This could be down to Sony just being greedy and wanting to sort of, well, we don't want to release Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. We don't want to put that on the PlayStation Premium because we want to make a remake of it and charge 70 quid. Do you know what I mean? There could be a lot of things going on. It could be, you know, down to these developers, Capcom, saying, well, actually, we don't want to put Silent Hill 2 on there because we're doing Silent Hill 2 remake. There could be lots of things about it, but this is just sort of like, if they just added some of these games, I would subscribe to it all year round. You know, there's so many games that they've got in the back catalogue that are just amazing. You know, I'm just going to read a few, but why these games aren't... Imagine if all these games were just on the PlayStation 1 catalogue and the PlayStation 2 catalogue, and it would just be like, right, take my money. Just take my money. So, you know, Time Crisis was a great game. I loved playing Time Crisis. That was Time Crisis 1, 2 and 3 was fantastic. Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9 and 10. Alundra. And many people won't even know half of these games. You know, these new kids that are playing games now will not... You know, this is just a great way of celebrating Sony and celebrating the history of the games. And, you know, all these people that like to go back and play these games, and kids that won't have a clue what Parasite Eve is, or won't have a clue what... you know, the original Driver game was like. You know, but these games, Time Crisis, Final Fantasy 7, 8 and 9 and 10, Alundra, Star Wars Jedi Power Battles, WWF SmackDown 2 was an amazing wrestling game. So was the first one, really. Resident Evil 1, 2 and 3. Nightmare Creatures 1 and 2, a great third-person horror game back in the day. Twisted Metal 1 and 2. Silent Hill 1 and 2. I know we're getting Silent Hill remake, the Silent Hill 2 remake, but give us Silent Hill 1 and show us why we fell in love with this franchise. You know, Gran Turismo 1 and 2. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, like one of the greatest third-person games ever made, I think, in my opinion. The start of that. Go and look up on YouTube Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver intro, and it's just one of the best intros to a game. The music is just, it's crazy, it's amazing. Metal Gear Solid 1, 2 and 3. Why we haven't got Sons of Liberty on there and Metal Gear Snake, Snake Eater is insane. Why we don't have these games on there. Just being able to go back and play any of these games would be an absolute joy. Parasite Eve, a great survival horror game. It's fixed camera angles, it's sort of a Resident Evil kind of stylish game made by Capcom. It was a great game for the time. Tekken 3, Tekken 1 as well. Driver, the original Driver game was fantastic, and then Driver 2, you could get out the car. MDK, a lot of people won't know what that is, but it was like a third-person futuristic shooter. Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, which was the prequel to, Soul Reaver. Croc, Legend of the Gobos. Croc 1 and 2 was an amazing platformer, cartoon-style platformer where you had to collect these little furry monsters and sit. It was like a pre-Spyro kind of game. Fear Effect 1 and 2 was a great game as well. It was like a cyberpunk kind of cyberpunky game. It was amazing. The Getaway, I've got a feeling that The Getaway will probably be returning in some sort of remake or remaster or reboot or whatever, but The Getaway was such a dark, gritty, Cockney, set in London GTA kind of wannabe, where it was like you could actually drive licensed cars in this country, and it was parts of, you were trying to save your son. The way that you got your health back was you rested against a wall, and the guy was like, and that's how you got your health back. You went into a police station in that game and killed a load of policemen. It was insane. If you can hear any snoring, it's the dog. She's fast asleep. Tomb Raider 1, 2 and 3. Why Tomb Raider 1, 2 and 3 isn't on the PlayStation 1 Premium catalogue is absolute sacrilege. I would absolutely love to go back and play them games and go through them. And all these games should have trophy support. I know that PlayStation, some of the PlayStation 1 games has trophy support, but they should all have trophy support. People care about trophies. I don't, but people care about them. Klonoa, Klonoa was like a 2D platformer with it was like a cat with wings for ears. Medal of Honor 2, Devil May Cry 1, 2 and 3. Where are these games at? Tenchu 1 and 2. Tenchu was such an amazing game. I remember I used to work, my friend used to work at Woolworths. We worked there when we were 16, and I went in one day and wanted to buy this game, but it was an 18, and my friend's mother, Owen's mother, who was a manager at Woolworths, bought me Tenchu. I was like, I'm not old enough, can you get me it? And I'll give her the money. She bought it, and I came home and played it. The game terrified me. It was great, doing these assassin kills with heads flying off and stuff. It was insane. It scared the shit out of me. Tenchu 1 and 2 was a great game, and why it's not on there again is crazy. Dino Crisis 1 and 2, amazing games again. Why they're not on there is just, I've got a feeling that these games are being held back because they're going to get remastered or remade in the future. Games like Ico, prequel to Shadow Colossus. Beyond Good and Evil, Beyond Good and Evil 2 was teased not that long ago, and it's never coming out. Do you know what I mean? Ubisoft keep, teasing us with this Beyond Good and Evil game that's coming out. Beyond Good and Evil 2, it's never coming out. Beyond Good and Evil was a great game. And there's just loads of games as well. There's probably loads on there. These are just ones that are relevant to me that I've handpicked out there. Urban Chaos was a great game as well. Pandemonium 1 and 2. Just this amazing catalogue of games where... And I just think it's almost like PlayStation aren't even trying when it comes to premium. And this is like the premium tier. This is what you're paying top dollar for this premium catalogue. And at the moment, I just think it's so underwhelming. It's such a missed opportunity, and I think they could do so much better with it. And it's almost like they don't want to give fans of the PlayStation 1 and 2 this nostalgic trip down memory lane of these games. There's so many games that could be adding each month to this game, but it's like they're just drip feeding. And I don't understand why they're drip feeding these games when it should be like, this is your premium tier. This is what you're marketing as the premium standard. You know, and I just don't get it, and I really want the, you know, I just think Sony's just missing a trick when it comes to this. And, you know, I am criticising Sony in this video because I want them to be better. I want this premium tier to be worth the money. I want this catalogue to be, you know, this backwards compatibility catalogue of, you know, this PS1, PS2 tier to be amazing. And I don't think it is, and it's such a wasted opportunity, you know, but that's my 2 cents in it anyway. That was just a list of games that I think just desperately need to be on this premium tier. And if any of them were on there, I would happily go back and play them and experience it. It's just nostalgic, and you know, especially for an older gamer like myself, you know, 38 this year, and these are games that I've grown up with and that have shaped me through the years, and I just think it's such a waste. But that's just my opinion. Again, I'm not important, I'm not special, I'm just a guy in a room with a camera. But if you want to subscribe, don't feel as though you have to, but let me know, you know, am I talking bollocks? But I do think it is missing this premium tier. I think it is. Sony's just sitting on all this, and it could just be it could be amazing. But anyway, I'm gonna end the video because I feel like I'm rambling. But that was just a little 2 cents that I wanted to come on and talk about. So all the best. Hope you're well. Hope everyone's happy, and we'll see you again on the next video. So bye bye.